Okay, so here we have writer strike, and we're gonna go in reverse order. So this is gonna be we're going from oldest to newest. Adam Conover, who has been quite the influential or forward-facing person for the writer's strike and for the WGA, which would be the the Writers Guild of America on the west side, on the west coast. So that's like California area. So he's been doing a lot of talks. He's been there a lot. He's been posting about it all the time. So he's kind of the one we're following. And it says, hell yes, congrats to the workers at the CWA union. Extremely stoked to see this wall-to-wall video game union. So this is Sega America employees vote to unionize. So hey, congratulations to them. And I am convinced that this writers movement and these unionizing movement is going to be a huge driving force, especially if they succeed. If they don't succeed, I think it's going to be just as things will change, whether they succeed or not. And so I hope they succeed, and good for them. Here's what I think of the streamer's cruel plan to starve us out.
So yesterday, some studio executives told the press that they were planning on waiting out the Writers Guild until October, when writers will lose our apartments and homes and become homeless, and then be forced to come back to the table and take a bad deal. Now, first of all, I cannot believe that they said this. They took the mask off. They told on themselves bigger than anyone I have ever seen, but also they are dead fucking wrong, because writers are in this for the long haul. We have a strike fund that we use to support other writers who are on hard times. We are raising money for crew members and other people affected by the strike. And most importantly, we know that if we do not get a fair deal, we will not have jobs to go back to. So we are not going to leave that picket line. We are going to keep withholding our labor until the companies come back to the table and make a fair deal. And they're going to do that. You know why? Because they need us. Every dollar they make begins with us. So they are not starving us out. We are starving them out. And until they come back to the table, there will be no writing.
Yeah, I don't know how stupid you would have to be, or how arrogant you would need to be, or, I don't know, a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B you would have to be to just say that was your plan out loud. That is absolutely fucking absurd. I don't know why you would ever say that. This reminds me of Reddit, because Reddit's been fighting back and forth about what their boss is doing, and the boss decided to shit on all the volunteers that run the fucking site, as if that was a good idea. What the fuck? It's not surprising that this is what they're doing. It's incredibly absurd that they would say it out loud, though. That's a whole nother level of fucking dickery. Barb Eager, that's Disney, is completely out of touch if he thinks the unions are the ones being unrealistic here.
So this morning, the CEO of Disney went on TV and said that what writers and actors are asking for is not realistic because they just don't have enough money to pay us. But he said this at a billionaire retreat where he was hanging out with Mark Zuckerberg and David Zaslav that they all flew to on their private jets. And you know what? I don't think that that's fucking realistic. Here's a dose of reality for you, Bob. Writers cannot afford to pay their mortgages. Actors are not able to make a living in Los Angeles anymore. That is reality to us, not flying around on private jets. And until you accept that reality, we are going to be out here on the picket lines withholding our labor, depriving you of your product, and you will not make another dollar off of us until you come back to the table and face reality and negotiate with us as you have refused to do. And until you do that, there will be no acting and no writing.
Yeah, side note, the actors joined this strike. The actors, the Screen Actors Guild, the SGA, SAG, joined this strike as well. So there's not actors and there's not writers. And so there's more and more people getting more and more ground, getting more and more, or less and less product out to these giant media megalodons that are essentially run by 3 or 4 guys. So how does it make any goddamn sense to have so many products being controlled by so few people, particularly in the media. So this to me, this makes total sense. The next step to this, besides unionizing, is trust fund busting, and busting up monopolies and duopolies. So things like Ticketmaster, things like Disney, things like in Canada, Bell and Rogers are a huge problem, and those things need to just be broken up and spread out and around. And I hope to see that good shit happening. Ron Perlman calls out the studio exec who wants to drag the strikes out until people start losing their houses. Because who doesn't love Ron Perlman, am I right? If anybody out there doesn't recognize this man, first off, you should find a way to follow them. Because I think he's off of Twitter now, but if you have a way to follow him, find him and follow him, because Ron Perlman's fantastic.
One thing before I get off this. The motherfucker who said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments. Listen to me, motherfucker. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial, some of it is karma, and some of it is just figuring out who the fuck said that. And we know who said that, and where he fucking lives. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that on people. You wish that families starve while you're making $27 fucking million a year for creating nothing. Be careful, motherfucker. Be really careful. Because that's the kind of shit that stirs shit up. Peace out.
Ron Perlman is absolutely 100% correct. You can only push people so far. And how many times do you think that you can punch somebody in the face before they're going to hit you back? Right now, these protests are peaceful. Right now, these protests are friendly and looking to negotiate. They're trying to work with you. And the further and further you push them, and the more desperate you make people to the point that they're homeless and starving, and you do this to massive swaths of people at a time, what do you think's gonna happen? How long and how much do you expect people to be peaceful with you? And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. People in government and people in powerful positions right now, particularly like your upper crusts, are lucky. They're lucky that women, trans people, minorities, so like any minority, wants to integrate. They're lucky that the indigenous people want their space. They're lucky that black people and Latino people and LGBTQ plus people, they are lucky that these people want to integrate and be a part of the system and are peacefully attempting to join and be accepted within that system. Because the other option to that is revolution. You're lucky that the artists are wanting to work with you and just build a successful system together with you, rather than just overthrowing you in its totality. You're lucky, and you should take advantage of that while it exists, and while that option is the option that is being offered to you, because that's going to be the good deal for you, not the other options that exist. It's okay the streamers meaning like Netflix and Disney Plus and Paramount Plus. It's okay the streamers don't need writers and actors. They'll be fine without us, right? Negative 0.48 for Netflix, negative 1.40 for Walt Disney, Paramount Global, negative 3.95, Warner Brothers Discovery, negative 3.42, Comcast, negative 1.26. They are dropping. They will not win this fight, and the fact that they think that they can or will, just because they think they can starve the artists, so like your writers and your actors out, that's not gonna fucking happen. They're not gonna win that fight. And good. They shouldn't. They don't deserve to win that fight.